Good evening. Welcome to Tactical Talk with Mad Dog Armory. I am Jillian Biltz, one of your hosts.
And I'm Shad Biltz. How are you?
Our other host.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to be here. We are coming to you from the Tampa Bay area, and we're very excited about today's show. Shad and I own Mad Dog Armory. They are two local gun shops here in the Tampa Bay area, and we were lucky enough to be approached by Area 52 TV, and they were gracious enough to give us this platform to talk to you about guns and Second Amendment stuff and industry headlines and all this exciting stuff that we've been doing now for about 24 shows or so.
24th show.
Super excited.
Yeah.
We made it through 24.
One whole day of binge watching.
Right. Now it's official. You can
Official
actually...
one whole day. You can waste an
Nonstop.
entire day.
Exactly. Exactly. Too funny. Yes. So today's show we're excited about. We're excited to be here with you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of the social media platforms for Mad Dog Armory as well as Area 52. This is important stuff, guys. We are silenced, as you know, as Second Amendment supporters and patriots. We are edited and silent, trying to be silenced, and it's really important for you to like, share, and subscribe because that keeps us relevant and it stops them from allowing the silencing
we hope it
to
stops
continue.
Yeah,
that is true.
Bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's been frustrating for us as gun shop owners because we run a legitimate business,
Right.
Law-abiding citizens exercising their Second Amendment right, and unfortunately, with the climate and the left really trying to silence us, it's hard to get the word out on certain things. So that's why we really enjoy our show. We hope you like it too. Definitely comment. We've gotten all of your comments. We read them all. Shad and I read each and every single one of them. So thank you so much for sending those comments in.
Yeah.
We had a fan recently that reached out from California.
California. Good old CA.
So thank you so much for sending that in. Hi, California. Thanks for watching. So we are on top of all of those comments and stuff. So keep it going. We appreciate it. It's really helping our mission, which is to help
Educate. Right?
educate communities and keep our communities safe.
That's right.
And give you tips and tricks and all that good stuff. So and maybe a little bit of entertainment.
Smidge.
A little bit, yeah, with this guy. You never know
About
what's going
an
to come
inch
out of his... Oh, jeez. Okay, so like I said, we own Mad Dog Armory. We have two locations in the Tampa Bay area, one in Largo, which is our original store. We opened that one in 2016, and we're really proud of that. It's a little guy in a strip mall. And then our newest baby, Tampa, in our South Tampa location on Kennedy Boulevard. That has been an amazing addition to Mad Dog Armory. That is a Democrat-run city, and we weren't sure exactly how it was going to be perceived, but the community...
Perceived and received.
Correct.
Yes.
And the community has been amazing. It's been really interesting when stuff hits the fan, how people are coming in and they're like, okay, I need to protect myself. And they're just shocked that there's a waiting period for guns and that there's a background check for guns because unfortunately the media, so it doesn't tell you the truth all the time on different things. So
there's always, you hear about loopholes and all that kind of stuff. But in a gun shop, you have a background check every single time you're purchasing a firearm. So.
Yep. Yeah, so it's always great to see the people kind of say, oh, I need a background check? And what is this that I have to wait? You know, and it's like, well, yeah, that's the way the laws are. And they're like, oh, shocked, It's like, yeah, there actually is. So again, we're very excited to be here for the 19th time. We're very excited to be here.
For the 19th time, for the 24th time.
Is it 24th?
24th,
Oh, that's
24th
right.
Episode.
24th episode.
Time.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Well, happy Friday, everybody. Join us every week. We're here every Friday at 6 p.m. So please join us next week as well and just keep it going. And we give you the best hour of your life.
Yeah. Maybe.
We think so.
We'll try.
I hope it's not the best hour of your life, but maybe. So, all right, cool. So show 24. So basically what we're going to talk about today is headlines, and we're also going to talk about hurricane or emergency prep. Basically.
And obviously, Ian just went through Florida.
Hurricane.
Yep, we just dealt with that personally. It was supposed to hit Tampa really, really hard and directly. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It actually went a little further south and hit Fort Myers. So, our hearts go out to you guys down there if you're watching, and, be safe. And hopefully things will get back to normal sooner than later.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be sooner. It was hit really hard just south of us. Like Shad said, Hurricane Ian just hit. We're still feeling the effects. We still have a lot of wind. There's a lot of wind damage in the area. But just south, like Shad said, of us in Naples area, it's devastated. Shad and I have done some vacations over there. What was that island called?
Marco Island.
Marco Island, and there was another one. That's not the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, Marco Island and Fort Myers, Naples area. It's really devastated. I mean, that hurricane hit, I think it land at a 4, right?
Yeah. Category 4, 155-mile-an-hour winds. It was almost Category 5. It was
devastating. Yeah, it took out bridges and all sorts of things. So a lot of people hurting, a lot of people injured, lost lots of stuff. So we want.
Unfortunately, fatalities. There were fatalities.
That bridge is just. I mean, look at that. It's amazing. Mother Nature is just always amazes me on the power that she has. The wrath.
Yeah.
The wrath of a woman scorned. Who pissed her off?
Right.
Definitely the Democrats.
Oh no. Yeah. Because. During the coverage.
We'll get into that in a minute. But right. So we're going to get into headlines. We're going to talk about emergency situations because just like Ian just came through, people, and even with us being in the projected path of the hurricane, we ran around, Shad and I, and we have the 2 stores. We have a Colonel's house that's here that we had to button up. We have a rental property we had to button up. So we're running around, we're buttoning up all our places and boarding up. There's a lot of things that you have to worry about when a storm's coming, right? So it's looting, it's water damage, it's wind damage, there's a lot of different things. So when you're trying to prepare for something like that, you got to really think ahead on what is happening, what's the emergency situation, because something that's like when you're prepping for a riot or looting, that's going to be a little different prep bag than it is for like hurricane bug out bag that you're grabbing and you're going, right?
Yep.
Because even when we were preparing for today's show, and I said to Shad, hey, go grab our bug out bag. We have armor,
some soft
armor plates. Now, we wouldn't necessarily grab the soft armor plates for a hurricane evacuation, right? So we hope we wouldn't need that, right? And Shad's kind of like, well, you never know, right? However, I would think that we'd need room for other things other than that. Whereas if we were evacuating for crime, for peaceful protests, that would probably include our soft armor. So we're going to help you prepare for a hurricane or a natural disaster, hopefully, and give you a couple of tips on that. So definitely want to talk about that. Last week's show, we talked about safes, I believe, and headlines. So definitely go back and watch those. Like I said, subscribe, share. It's very, very important. We want to also mention our raffles that are going on. We mention them every week. Don't forget, $10 a chance. Basically, you pay $10, you get a ticket, and you could potentially win an AR-15. Currently, both shops have AR-15s. No. Right.
We actually completed our Tampa raffle, so we're going to be drawing tonight the winner of the Saint.
Right behind us.
This guy
right above our heads. So somebody, by the end of the show, is going to win this guy. We have the tickets. Tampa finished it. And we are super excited to be able to announce the winner on this guy from the Tampa location. Still waiting on Largo. They have the Zev, I want to say.
Yeah, Zev with a Hollow Sun combo package and a Magpul bipod.
Yes, so lots of extras on that guy. $10 a chance, and that's all you need. And the last 2 winners only spent $10 and won a free AR-15. So, I mean, it's just silly not to just put 10 bucks in
Absolutely.
there and enter for the chance. So later today in the show, towards the end, we're going to announce the winner, and somebody's going to be leaving with that
Somebody's
baby.
gonna be happy. Yep.
So excited. So we'll pick that. But until then, get in on the new raffles. I think Tampa's doing
We have a waypoint. So it's a Springfield Armory bolt action waypoint gun, carbon fiber barrel. It's in 6.5 PRC, and it also comes with 5 boxes of ammo.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so 100 rounds of ammo.
Sweet. 5 boxes is 100? Oh, 20?
20.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, 50 pack, but
It's
it's
my higher
rifle ammo.
mathematics thing.
Yeah. All right. So get in on those. I know at Tampa we talked about doing a raffle for a handgun as well. So I think that's going to come soon.
Very
But
soon,
keep
yeah.
an eye out.
Yep.
Also, remember that if you see us out on the Mad Dog Armory boat, don't forget to hashtag MD Armory boat. And we'll enter you into the raffle. So don't forget
Yes.
to hashtag that. And if you see us, don't forget to wave. And we have swag.
Flag us down. Yeah, absolutely.
We have swag that we keep on the boat, so we'll give you some. Just flag us down, and we'll stop or turn around or
Yep.
whatever. So we're super.
we can.
Yeah. So definitely show us your support, and you can't miss that Mad Dog Armory boat.
No, you cannot.
No, you cannot. All right, cool. So let's talk headlines, news headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I mean, Biden just gives us so much stuff.
Lots of ammunition.
There's so much stuff. But this particular one was cringeworthy, as usual. The leader of the free world was doing some sort of speaking thing.
He was talking to teachers, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was
He
teachers.
talking to
Yes, it
teachers.
was.
Yeah.
A group of teachers. Everybody's super happy, and they're laughing, and he's just making jokes. And then he comes out with something that was so cringeworthy.
Right.
It actually disturbed me.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if Trump said something like that? I mean, I would, yeah,
Right.
I don't even want to know. So Joe Biden, are we going to do video or are we going to, no? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have the video.
So Joe
capability on this
Biden, quote, says, she was 12, talking to this girl. I guess they never
one. Right, you
showed
should
who
have
it
said,
was.
you should have said hello.
Yeah.
Right? And then he said, she was 12 and I was 30. But anyway. And everybody's laughing. Now, I don't know if it's like a laugh track or if people actually were laughing.
No. I saw people they were laughing behind him. I don't think, for some reason, I don't think they understood because it was so disturbing that I think it takes you a minute to kind of process what he
Right.
just said. But here he is talking, leader of the free world, president of the United States, and then he says, you better say hello to me,
Right.
whoever he's talking to in the
Right.
front. I'm assuming it's a female. Who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
But you never
and then
know.
he says, she was 12 and I was 30. But anyway, and everybody starts laughing. And it's like, what? What did he just say? Did he just say she was 12 and I was 30? That is actually pedophile. So you can't be 30 and be with a 12-year-old because that's a child.
Right. And it
So
was just
why
weird.
would you say that?
Yeah, it was really weird. And again, we didn't get the whole context, but
Oh, I watched it.
But what we got, it's just weird.
It was literally, I watched it, and it was literally, he was talking about something else, then
Yeah.
clearly saw this former 12-year-old that he, whatever,
That he sniffed her hair. I'm
and
sure.
and stopped and addressed her, and then kept going as the
Yeah.
audience laughs. Like,
Right.
what are you laughing at?
Yeah,
Why
I
didn't
don't-
somebody go, what? Like, what did
Yeah.
he just say? Yeah,
I don't get it. Yeah, it's just
crazy.
behooves me.
So not only should Dum Dum be impeached, he should potentially be arrested because that is or an investigation. Yeah,
Something. I mean,
right.
it's like, yeah.
Like there would ever be an investigation.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So that was cringeworthy. I just had to,
Yeah.
I thought we had the video, but you can probably Google it and just find it. But it's really cringeworthy. It's really
Just
over the top.
Just Google, she's 12 and I was 30. Believe
It'll
me,
come
you'll
up.
find it.
It will come up. That's kind of how I found it. So, all right. So natural disasters, kind of staying with the theme of today's show.
Mm-hmm.
Ian came in, and of course, there was a lot of prep work going on
Sure.
prior to it hitting. So there's days and days of coverage, and where's it going to go?
Yeah,
and it's
because I think coverage started on Sunday or Monday, right? I think.
honestly,
It
I've
seemed
lost
like-
track of
yeah,
days. I know today's Friday, but I
yeah.
don't even know when
it seemed like I think it really started hard on Monday. I think it was
Okay.
because we were done with football, and so I think it was Monday is when that stuff really started to.
Okay.
Your weather channels were pretty much 24/7 talking about the thing and where it's going to go and prepping and everybody. It wasn't even near Cuba yet.
Right.
at that point. You
Yeah.
know, it was still a tropical storm, I think. It wasn't even a hurricane yet, but they were forecasting and prepping everything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, here's some video of just some of the devastation
Yeah,
in,
it's so
in
sad.
the Fort Myers, Naples area. It's just,
Yes, it's devastated.
wow. Yeah, unbelievable. The storm surge was 7 feet, I think.
7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah. So as this natural disaster is unfolding and happening, you know, natural disasters are natural. That's
Right.
kind of, it gives you a little bit of, you know,
Perspective.
where the name kind of describes what it is a natural disaster. They've been happening for a long time, very, very long time, and they're going to continue to happen. But what does the left do? They start politicizing. So
Right.
instead of thinking about all of the people that have lost
That were
everything,
affected, right, by this.
death, just losing everything, fires, you
Power
know,
outages, I mean, yeah. there's
suffering.
just-
People are
yeah.
suffering. They need help. Instead of concentrating and praying for these people, what do? They, of course, are trying to push their agenda. So we have this brilliant senator from
I about lost my mind. 'Cause it's-
Missouri.
And I think we were either watching Weather Channel or Fox Weather, one or the other, because we were flipping back and forth between them. And a commercial came up for a female Democrat from
Minnesota Democrat,
Okay.
Amy Klobuchar. I don't even know how to say her
Right.
name, but so she bizarrely suggests that voting for Democrats in 2022.
Will stop hurricanes.
I'm sorry, what? So
Yeah,
if you
no.
vote
If you want to get rid of
Democrat-
hurricanes, vote Democrat, please.
Now, that was shocking. And when Shad said it, I said, "What? Who said that?" So I looked it up, and
Right.
there she was in all her glory, talking about, you know, implying that if you vote Democrat,
Right.
that, you know, and they're attributing it to climate change.
Right.
And then there's all sorts of research that's available currently right now that shows that hurricanes are not getting more intense. Hurricanes have been around a long, long time. They've been very
Since before
intense. They've been very intense way before Miss Senator, Democrat
Right.
from Minnesota, has been around. They've been around, and they've been worse, and they've blown out, you know, like all sorts of states
Right.
and just cities, just decimated them.
And it was just showing Florida, right?
Right.
So they were showing Florida statistics up on the screen. And this was after this, because afterwards I saw the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about this being the 5th hardest hit
Mm-hmm.
Florida. The other ones were from like 1918,
Yeah.
1933, 19... So last time I checked, I think those were the times that they were talking about. Was it global cooling? We've had global cooling, global warming, ozone, climate change, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other shit that they've been trying to spew over the years,
Yep.
trying to scare the shit out of you on, you know, to meet their agenda.
Right.
Don't let it happen. Don't fall to their pressure. Talk about peer pressure, right? What a bunch of
It's like,
assholes.
like bullying. It's like bullying.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It's like you have a platform, and you would think that you're able to speak intelligently about stuff, and they just don't give a shit about you at all. They want to meet an agenda. They want to fill their pockets full of money, and they always bitch about other people that have money. They want to fill their pockets full of money and live high on the hog,
Right.
and they don't care about who they hurt to do it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's very important. It's a lie, and it's very frustrating for us when we watch the media. And unfortunately, we were forced to, because we were trying to see if this hurricane was going to hit us
Right.
directly in Tampa Bay. So Shad and I try to really limit the amount of news media that we watch. Now, again, me being in this industry and owning gun shops and having to be aware of different
Right.
laws and rules and regulations that are changing, it's important for us to be plugged in. However, it's very difficult for us to watch fake news constantly. So we had to have it on because of the storm coming.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we were just infuriated at some of the things that we were hearing again.
Yeah.
We also had some family in town because they were evacuated. I say in town, at our house. And so it's just really frustrating to listen to what they say and the lies that they're spewing. So don't believe it. It's not true.
Do research. I mean, here's the reality. Just do research, right? Not saying that everything they say is not accurate, but the reality is you have to do research and get information so you can make a good informed decition.
Absolutely.
But, a lot of this is just bullshit, and it's just insane. Because
'Cause
they're
even-
able to say this and not have any kind of, fact checking.
Fact checker.
Yeah, where's the fact checker?
Fact checking. So that was a little frustrating. So that senator is a moron. So don't listen to that person.
And please, if you know people up in Minnesota, send this to people up in Minnesota so don't vote for the moron. Yeah.
Republican people,
Holy crap.
we gotta take back this country. They're, it's really bad. Okay, moving on. So fake news channel also had, this lady on. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, actually. So basically, two people are talking, and one says, migration. So they start talking about migration because Floridians are now having to migrate to different cities and states because we're under a hurricane.
Right.
Tornado warnings, all this stuff. So people are starting to leave. So they're going to Georgia and South Carolina. People are going
or inland
wherever.
or wherever they're deciding to go.
Right. So they catch on to the migrate thing. And this one lady is saying, well, isn't it funny how Floridians now have to migrate, and they're so against the migration of people coming in through the border illegally, and look at them having to migrate. What? How in the name of the Lord do you compare coming into this country illegally? So just FYI, we are not against people coming to the United States to seek asylum or to have a better life or whatever it is that why people come to this country. We're a melting pot. We are all about it. We're here to help people. We're not against helping people get on their feet and then work and, contribute to a better America and live the American dream and start a business. Like, we're all about that. What we're not about is not following law and order, which this country was founded on. We have to follow a system. So when you come in illegally, it's illegal. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about the open border, because that's not good. All these people are coming in illegal. Has nothing at all to do with Floridians fleeing because there is a Cat 5 potential storm coming in and is going to demolish neighborhoods and cities. So we are moving and migrating into different areas to be safe.
Oh, believe you me, they're migrating right back once the storm goes by.
Right. And then they are legally migrating out of Florida. Huge difference.
Well,
and this is a major news platform that everybody and their mother watches.
Right. It is. It's absolutely mind-numbing.
I don't know who thinks like that. It's unbelievable that somebody would compare people fleeing Florida to illegal immigration.
There's no logic or accountability when it comes to the stuff they say.
That was a big
just
one.
Insane.
I couldn't believe it, so I had to share it with you because it was just shocking to me. So deaths have dropped 90% on hurricanes when I was doing research for this and just trying to figure out, like, does climate change have anything to do with this? Is there even anything such as climate change? What's going on there? The world just changes in general, right? We went from land to buildings, and condos, and as things are built, the world changes. Everything changes. So to be like, this is it. This is climate change is causing this. Climate change is.
Well, and again, why climate change? Because again, in the past, they've used different terms, and they try to go, oh, it's because the world is cooling, and then all of a sudden it starts heating up. And they go, okay, now it's because it's warming.
It's really funny.
Right? Oh, nope, it's not because that. It's because there's a hole in the ozone layer. Wait, nope, it's not that.
Right.
So they keep throwing darts at the wall, and they aren't even hitting the fucking wall.
Right. So deaths have dropped 90% in hurricanes that have hit, and that's due to people like.
I'm sure it's technology, right? I mean, ultimately, they can't forecast for shit. I mean, that's reality. I wish I had that job, right? It's like, well, it's going to hit somewhere in the U.S. at some point
Florida's
in the next week or so.
West Coast.
Right. So, I mean, I get it. It is Mother Nature, and she can do all sorts of, different stuff, and just kind of, she goes where she wants to go.
Right.
But they weren't far off. I mean, reality. So
In the grand scheme of things, they weren't far
and
off.
it is getting better. So they are able to heed warnings, to let people know to, get out.
Yeah.
If you are in a place that, is susceptible to flooding, these things are just devastating. That's kind of what happened down there. If up here where we were at in our particular
Tampa
home,
Bay.
we were not in a flood area. So we're about 20 or 30 feet above sea level in our particular home. So we really don't have to worry about that. But there are all sorts of places in Pinellas County that would have been devastated. And Tampa would have just been devastated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Tampa would have been
which is
devastated.
where it was supposed to hit.
Yep.
And, fortunately it did not. Unfortunately to Fort Myers and Naples, it did hit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
So the biggest thing is to prepare, guys. And our point for the news headlines having to do with this is just to stop politicizing disasters that happen. It's just not the time. I watched our governor, who we're so proud of, Ron DeSantis. We're huge fans. He just kicked it into gear. Everybody is just on point, ready to go. He's got food trucks set up.
Everything
He's got
was staged. She was staged and ready
power
to go for this
people,
thing.
the line workers, all of that. There's so much to prepare for. And it's funny because I was watching a news press
Press
conference, and
Big
big words, and here somebody asks him some stupid political question, saying something about him not preparing Florida or something, and he just shut them down, and it's so great. I love watching him talk, because opposed to Dum Dum, when he talks about sniffing people and going with a 12-year-old girl, DeSantis is actually working and making this country better and this state better. And he was really, really on point, and he's hands-on right now and just giving updates and giving all of the people that need it any help they need.
Absolutely.
So very, very good.
Yep.
So stop politicizing. All right.
Yes.
So let's kind of touch.
Sanibel Island, was that it?
Sanibel is another one. No, we went to, I can't think of the name of it. Captiva Island.
Captiva Island, there we go.
Beautiful island. Shad and I went a couple of years ago. And man, I looked.
For a long weekend.
Yeah,
it was a great little place.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful little, we like little shacks, little cottages. And we stayed on there, and man, you can see the beach just from your window, just laying in bed, and gone. It's gone.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I saw a before and after on somebody shared on our social media, our personal social media, an aerial view before and an aerial view
really?
after, and they're gone. I mean, gone.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
That's a shame.
It's so hard too, because Sean and I talk about when they evacuate, they're saying, you need to go, you need a mandatory.
Right.
And you don't think it's going to hit you, right?
Right.
It's just it's not going to happen to me. And this is what we teach people. When you think about crime happening to you or being, attacked, murdered, raped, all these, it's not going to happen to me.
Right.
It's not going to happen to me, but it does happen to you.
It happens to somebody, so it does happen. And
Yeah,
it's just,
it could have easily happened to us. So we're
Absolutely.
very blessed and very thankful to be here. And our hearts, like Shad said, go out to anybody that is affected. And we hope that people are getting the help that they need.
Yep.
So, so our hearts and prayers are with you all. Sorry about that. All right, so DeSantis, we gave him a hurrah because we love him. He's doing great.
He's the man.
And let's get into kind of we brought a few things here, but I want to
Right.
get into kind of what you should grab. So let's just
Right.
talk, emergency happens, and this is a natural disaster. So hurricane, tornado, flooding, anything like that.
Yep.
Bug out bags are basically a bag that you are going to grab because you don't have time to go through everything.
Right. I mean, ultimately, you need clothes. So, I mean, obviously, you're going to grab some clothes and stuff like that. You are going to prepare a little bit.
Right.
Right. But this particular bag is one of those things you can just easily grab, that it's going to have some of your necessities that you don't really have, like Jillian said, time to grab. Like, what gun should I grab? What should I, I can sit there and look in front of my safe for hours trying to figure out what it is that I want to carry today or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff is kind of like, all right, what should I take with me quickly?
Right.
Above and beyond clothes and some
Exactly.
basic food.
Yeah. And it's personal to you because
Yep.
even this morning when we were preparing, I kind of said, I'm getting ready, and I said to Shad, all right, go grab, like I said earlier, go grab our bug out bag. And then what would you put in it for, a hurricane?
Right.
So basically you have to choose, do you have kids with, pets, what's your situation? So it's
Correct.
going to be different for everybody, but we do have a dog. So we are going to definitely bring his medication, a little bit of food for him. Of course they say 5 days, right?
Yep.
Food for the animal, some treats, whatever.
Right.
One of the really awesome products that we carry is the water bottle. So in a time where there's a natural disaster and water is very scarce, what you don't want to do is pack a gallon of water. Like that
Right.
makes your bag very heavy. So something like this is really cool. It's made by Frontier. We sell them in the stores. They are water purified.
Yeah, it's a filtered water bottle. So,
Very light. And so you can throw this in your bag, have enough for everybody, and
Yep.
this way you can easily filter your water and have water at a
Drinkable
moment's
water, yeah.
drinkable water, because that is going to be very scarce.
Right, because again, depending on what happens. So if you lose power and stuff like that, you may not have access to water, so you
Yep.
might have to just grab something that's available, and this is going to at least filter out the impurities so that you have something.
Super,
And especially
super
if you have
important.
pets, you want to make sure that that's good for them as well. Don't want them to have issues either.
Correct. Yep. So that's definitely something huge. A transistor radio, something that cranks. If it does take
that way
batteries.
you can do battery or crank either way.
These guys are going to be lifesavers. You're going to want to have bags, Ziploc bags, bags with, what are the plastic things? What are they called? Zip ties.
ties.
Thank you.
Zip ties,
Zip
yeah.
ties. Have zip ties because remember, in a hurricane or weather-related bug-out bag, you're going to have to worry about water, things
Yeah.
getting wet, right? So you're going to have your clothes in a bag because what use is clothes to change into if
they're
they're
wet.
wet? So, right, socks or something like that. Put in a plastic bag and seal it up. Make sure there's no water that's going to get in there. And I would put the radio in a bag. I would put the gun, the guns
Yeah.
would be in a bag and in a bag. So bag inside of a bag inside of a bag, and make sure that you have it free from getting wet, right?
Absolutely.
So very important to have. I know you're going to have your phones with you, but your phone battery will potentially die. You may not have service. It's very, very important for you to have a backup type of radio that
Or battery, backup
battery.
Yeah.
or a backup battery for your phone.
Correct. Phone and other, nowadays, other devices. So you can get different size stuff. We tried to run one that we had for Jillian's, for our cell phones, basically. We tried to run her laptop off of it, and it just wasn't powerful enough. But they do have some smaller battery packs that are pretty lightweight.
Yeah.
That can power a lot of the stuff for quite some time. So
Yeah.
give you, 5, 6, 7, 8 charges,
Yep.
which could last you, again, depending on how much you're using it, 5 days.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, definitely have
Yeah.
lots of different things available to you in your bag that it's going to help you stay connected, however it is.
Correct.
Because cell towers go down or internet is out and you can't get on, you need to figure out what's going on, where to get help, where is there a shelter, where are they giving out food, things like that. So you got to stay connected however possible. So
That's where
definitely.
your radio comes in. If you don't have access to your phone, like you said, cell towers are down or whatever, and you can't get
Maybe
it
it
that
got
way.
wet.
Absolutely.
Honestly, when I was watching some of the footage from the storm, one of the things that I saw was this guy who was in a downstairs. Did you see that where the door came?
Oh, yeah.
Flew open from the water. The water was so powerful.
The pressure was so great. It was on the bottom floor.
It was an exterior metal door, like a
An
big,
exit door that
heavy
opens
door.
out.
And the guy is filming, and literally the water busts through
Yeah.
as he's filming, and it just takes him out. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it is like, it's terrifying. So something like that, your cell phone is done. Like,
Yeah.
it is saturated. You're swimming in your place.
Well, most of the cell phones nowadays can handle some water, right? They can actually handle like up to 6 feet of water for X amount of time.
Submerged?
Yes, submerged. So it's much better than they were. But again, what's the pressure, stuff like that? How long is
Don't
it
count
down
on
there
it,
for?
guys.
Right.
Don't count on it.
Right.
I mean, unless you have the latest, greatest, and it's this and that and the other thing, I wouldn't trust it. If my phone gets wet, I'm sure it's going to turn off and it's not going to work. So I wouldn't trust it. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So again, bags, put it in a bag, put it in a bag.
Absolutely.
And if you are going to go film where there's a hurricane, Cat 5, 4 hitting, you're probably going to want to have it in a bag because that guy definitely doesn't have his phone
prepared.
anymore. Definitely not. So any kind of way to communicate or to get information is very important. Water is very important. Plastic bags is important. Of course, throw a couple of granola bars in there, something that's non-perishable so you can snack on it, keep your energy up.
Sure
right?
enough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any kind of freeze-dried food, something like that, dehydrated food,
Yep.
anything you can do that's nice and easy that you can cook up and don't need to have any kind of utensils or
Yeah.
cooking items because they may not be available.
Yep. Something a lot of people don't think about is like rope, right? You want to have a piece of rope. You want to, if you have to leave your bag somewhere because you have to go somewhere else, you're going to want like some sort of locking,
Yeah.
something that you can lock your stuff up that somebody's not going to grab it, right?
Yep.
So a cable lock, like for your bike, that's a really good
Yep.
one. Something like that you can put around your bag, put it around a tree so somebody can't,
Yep.
they're
And
not
then
going to have
paracord is also a good thing to
Paracord,
kind of have,
rope,
a knife, a good knife.
something to secure. Very
Yep.
good. Yes. Multi-tool. So
Huge
definitely
multi-tools.
something to lock your bag up. Like I said, in case you have to leave and go somewhere else and leave your bag because your bag will be heavy.
Yep.
And you don't want to carry it if you don't have to and if you want to leave it somewhere. Something like this, like a multi-tool, this has like a ton of different things. I know Swiss Army knife is always good, but something that's a multi-tool that has like a scissor, a tweezer, a hammer,
Pliers
pliers,
nowadays. I mean, it's, lots of options.
something, a multi-tool, let's just say that. And there's lots of different options for that.
Sure enough.
And you're going to want to definitely have something that has like a knife on it, like Shad said,
Yeah.
for cutting. And so multi-tool, very, very important to have.
Huge. Yep.
So that's another thing that you're going to want to stick in there. Let's see.
Flashlight.
Flashlight, very good.
Flashlight.
I should just look at the table.
You know.
Flashlight, very important. This is a big one. This must have just been sitting on our counter and you threw it in the bag. Because I would probably go with a little smaller one, and probably have one for each person.
Yeah.
And so this one is like more of a house one, but you'd want something a little smaller, but very powerful, and extra batteries, and stick those in a Ziploc bag, right? And just have it sealed and
Sure
have water away from batteries. That
Yep.
never goes well.
Right.
So you got to have batteries. There's a lot of flashlights now that have the USB charging, which
Yep.
is great, but what if you don't have power?
Yeah, plus minus. Well, but that's where those battery packs that we talk about, those, trying to think what they're called. But anyway, battery packs, you can use USBs in order to charge those. So again, it's an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
The battery packs.
you wanna have backups, though.
Power bank.
Power bank, thank you. You do want to have backups. So
Yes.
batteries, power banks, wind-ups, anything you can find kind of like that is going to be good.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yep.
So portable bank. A little bit of cash.
Yeah.
This is like, Democrats are trying to get rid of cash now.
Yeah.
So a little bit of cash, I would say, is a good idea. It used to be like bring cash, but honestly, nowadays, like a lot of people don't even take cash anymore. So bringing cash is a good idea, but unfortunately, I don't know how much cash you're going to necessarily need.
Right.
But definitely a card and cash. Bring your valuables as far as like, your IDs, your driver's license or passport or something like that. So you have your ID in case you need to get to the airport and flee. You need to be able to pay for your flight.
Right.
So you need to have some money,
Sure.
cash or card or whatever,
Yep.
and your ID, of course.
Right.
Super important. We also have, Shad and I definitely suggest having important paperwork in a plastic bag as well. We keep a plastic bag of our valuables, our
Birth certi-
valuable paperwork
Our birth
in our safe.
certificates
Yeah,
and-
so we would
and
grab that
stuff like
bag.
that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Very important to have that stuff, your insurance documents, your declaration page to know who to call. I'm trying to think of what else is in there. Insurance documents, birth certificates, passports. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I
pretty
think
much
so.
it. The deed to our house, I think, is in
And
there.
our cars.
Our cars, the
Yeah,
title to our
titles,
cars. So very important documents that you'll keep secure. You're going to want to grab those and have them in a bag. You can also make copies of those documents as well.
Sure.
So,
Take photos. You can always have them on your phone as well. So, I mean, you can't have them in enough places. That's reality.
right.
So, copies, photos.
Yep. Absolutely. And now with the cloud,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
even if your phone gets wet and it turns off and
You might be able to
can't-
access it from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That cloud, it's still,
I know. It's always above me.
The cloud. All right. And then you also mentioned something else, take pictures. So that's something huge. So we did that right before the storm
Prior to
while
the
we were
storm,
prepping. And that's the thing about hurricanes. I mean, we're so thankful it didn't hit us, but there was so much prep
Sure.
for nothing. I say for nothing, thank God, right?
Well,
But again,
it was
so
insurance
much
in case
prep.
we did get hit.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, yeah.
And one of the things we did is we took pictures. So we took pictures on the outside, on the inside of all of our places that we went to and prepped.
Right.
And the insurance company is going to want that because you're insured for so much, and insurance is a whole nother show.
Right. It's a shit show.
It's a shit show, and there's so much. So definitely going to want to take pictures because you might not be insured for or think that you're insured for different things that you have, but
Right.
taking pictures, you're going to be like, oh yeah, look at that collection of whatever,
You
right?
definitely need to look at policies and see what your policy limits are on certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you don't know, find a public adjuster.
Yeah.
Right? A public adjuster can help you kind of go through those policies and see what is what.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the insurance company, they don't want to pay out. That's reality. They want money coming in. They don't want money going out.
That's very,
So,
very
it
true.
is a
And
business.
that's a great thing. And I don't know if everybody knows about public adjusters because we have some family members that are actual public adjusters.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what that was until they started doing it. So
Yeah.
a public adjuster actually works for you,
the
for
homeowner.
your home. So basically, if you have an instance where you have water, you have a flood, the insurance company will come in and say, okay, this is damaged, we're going to give you $10,000.
Right. Again, they want to pay out as little as humanly possible. They're not
Right.
like, oh, here,
Right.
full limits. Just go ahead and do whatever you like.
Right. So you
So-
have a flood in your kitchen and they say, okay, we're going to, give you a new floor and we're going to, get you a new table and
Right.
we're going to give you $10,000. Well, then the public adjuster comes in and they go through your house and do a thorough inspection.
Yep.
And they go, well, your refrigerator now has mold underneath, so you
Yep.
need a cleaner to do that. And then now you need a whole new kitchen
Well, yeah, your
because the
cabinets are
cabinets now
ruined.
have mold underneath
Right.
them. So they do a complete inspection and they are going to get you so much
They
more.
fight for you. Now, obviously, they're going to take a cut. Obviously, they're in it. They're a for-profit business. They're
Yes.
going to take a cut. But the more that they get for you, the more they make. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, and they highly suggest taking pictures as well because that
Absolutely.
is huge.
Yeah, any kind of pre-prep stuff you can do picture-wise and/or video. I mean, even video.
Sure.
Either way, walk around, take pictures of particular items, rings, stuff like that might be high value.
Yeah.
And then video, walk around your house, and that'll kind of show, the stuff that you have or had.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, public adjusters are great for that. So definitely, if anybody's watching and has damage to their house, definitely get in touch with a public adjuster. They are going to help you. I know you're going to want to call your insurance company immediately because they're the ones that will pay out.
Sure.
But they're not going to pay you what you deserve usually.
Right.
And that's when you're going to need a public adjuster. So don't forget about that.
Yeah.
That was a really good thing to bring up, Shad.
Yeah.
So that was a nailed it. That was a nailed it thing right there. Because that is not on my list here. So very good. First aid kit, very
Yes.
important. Okay, so you're going to want to have one of these guys. It just depends on what you want in there, but there's a lot of different things to have in there. But remember, if you're evacuating for a storm, because of
Right.
a storm, you're going to want to make sure that you have certain things in there.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a first aid kit really is a first aid kit. Whether you have a tourniquet, not a tourniquet, you should have a tourniquet because who
Yeah.
knows what's going to happen. I mean,
Right.
if debris is floating around and you're in water and all of a sudden you get hit with something and you need to put on a tourniquet, I mean, hey, it kind of is what it is. So you just want to have a good first aid kit, whether it's for firearms or non-firearms, but just a
Right.
first aid kit.
Yeah, good first aid kit, just a generic one is fine. We have a couple of different ones just because of our business. Like Shad said, one of them is a tourniquet, like a shotgun wound type. Another one is for heart, if somebody has a heart attack. So there's different like specific ones that you can get, or there's just
Yeah.
general ones just to treat general wounds and things
Correct.
like that. So very important to have a first aid kit. Let's see what else we have. First aid kit, flashlights, batteries.
Right, and then firearms. What kind of, are you going to bring some firearms with you? I mean, ultimately, you have your everyday carry. I'm not sure what your everyday carry is. Our everyday carries are 9mm. That's pretty much what you like carrying a 45. She usually carries that in the shops, but not.
380 I have as well.
Yep. You do have 380s.
So
Yeah.
it just depends on, first of all, you need to know what the law is in your area, okay? So again, we're in the Tampa Bay area, and during an mandatory evacuation, you can bring a firearm without a license.
Correct.
And that is only when the governor,
Right.
has issued that
State of
warning.
emergency.
State of emergency.
State of emergency,
So
yeah.
you are able to, as of the last time we looked,
Correct.
as of when this is
Yes.
taping. So just know that you can. Now, it also would depend on what shelter you're in. If you're sheltering in a school and they say no firearms, then
Right.
that's no firearms. And then what do you do with it? Your house is back there, you know?
Right.
So you got to check into this stuff prior. So again, the preparing is so important. Prep, right?
Yep.
And that's also doing research in your area on what you can do and what you can't do with your firearms when you are evacuating. So I would definitely suggest having a small firearm on you. Now, would you have the shotgun and the, plates and stuff like that? Probably not for an evacuation
where are you
type
going?
thing.
What are you doing kind
Right.
of thing. But ultimately.
Because even the Sub 2000,
Yeah.
right? So Kel-Tec makes a Sub 2000, which is like a backpack gun. It's a 9mm.
Yep.
And it's folded right now, so I'm
Yep.
going to let you unfold it. And it's really simple to have
Now we're ready to
available.
go.
And now it's a 9mm, so it would hold the same ammo as this particular
Right.
SIG 365
Yep.
carry gun. So we'd have the same ammunition, so we'd only need a couple of boxes of 9mm, and
Yep.
we'd have both of these available to us.
Right.
So these two would be really great options if you had to,
Yep.
evacuate.
And we have some Glocks, we have some other stuff that we could use. So the Sub 2000 does take locked mags. So if you wanted to, basically you pair it up with another double stack Glock so you can share magazines and ammo. Ultimately the everyday carry is good for us. It makes it very easy to conceal. So it really depends on the situation.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
And there's nothing like a good shotgun.
And then the shotgun's great. However,
This is a
it
marine
takes up-
shotgun, so
Yep.
it can actually handle water and that kind of stuff, so you don't have to worry as much about it.
Right.
That's one of the things that I like about this particular variant.
Stainless.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, if it's true stainless,
Yep.
then that is a good thing to have, especially in this atmosphere
Sure.
here in Tampa Bay. It's salt water
Yeah.
and water in general. So
Yep.
you're going to want, if you do have a shotgun, you're going to want a stainless one or
Yep.
something that's will hold up a little bit better.
Sure enough.
I think I mentioned it, but it bears repeating. So any medicine that you have that you
Yes.
need, right?
Right.
We had Shad's mom staying with us, and
Mm-hmm.
she had a whole big thing. And I'm like, oh boy, we wouldn't have very much,
Right.
just vitamins and stuff. But for people that have, medicine that they need, you should definitely
Sure.
have some ready to go into that bag as soon as possible.
Yeah, if
just
you
throw
know
it
a
in.
storm's coming, you definitely want to set up your Monday, Tuesday, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get one full, put it in the bag, and then use hopefully you have a backup, so that way you can just use other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If it subsides, then you can pull that back out of your bag and you're able to use it so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it doesn't go bad. But ultimately, yeah, you definitely need to make sure you have that on hand.
Yep. So those are basically basic tips, right? And like we said, your personal situation is going to be different. What you want to bring for me, what I would want to bring is a little different than what Chad would want to bring. So you got to mesh those and see what's most important and how heavy your bag is going to be.
I get to carry it.
Maybe. But I'd probably have a backpack as
Yes.
well, right? So
Yeah.
if you both can have a backpack,
Yep.
we'd both have a backpack and then a bag.
Yep.
And that's the plan, right? But you never know. At a
Absolutely.
split second, you're going to have to grab and go. You can't
Yep.
be like, what am I going to put in here? So like I said, we have one prepared for something bad happening.
Civil unrest.
Civil unrest. And then we have one for like a fire or hurricane where it's a natural disaster that you're going to want to go. So you can have different bug out bags for different situations. Just mark them, tag them, and have them ready. Talk about it, make a plan,
That's right.
and make sure that you have your stuff together.
Sure enough.
Okay. So again, thanks for watching Tactical Talk, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share all of this information with people that you know and love.
Yep.
And we're gonna move on to some new shit with Shad, I think. So Shad's gonna talk about the
Springfield Armory Prodigy.
Prodigy. So we're gonna segue over to new shit with Shad.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hi again.
Hey, Craig. So, the new Springfield Armory Prodigy is a double stack 1911. So, it is a 9mm. Got pictures up on the screen. It comes in two different barrel length sizes, 5-inch and 4 1/4 inch. And then inside each one of those particular variants, you can get it with an optic or without an optic. They are optic ready on both of them anyway. Suppressor height sights, bull barrels. If I didn't say it, it is a 9mm. It comes with a 17-round mag, a 20-round mag, and you can also get an additional 26-round mag, which is insane.
26 rounds.
26 rounds.
Of 9?
Yep, 9mm. Bull barrel, like I said, skeletonized hammer, skeletonized trigger, ambidextrous safety. It is pretty awesome. We have not had one in the shop yet. They just released this, I don't know, like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, something like that, relatively recently. Still haven't seen one yet. We have access and are getting the magazines, but haven't gotten any of the guns yet. Can't wait to put my hands on it. It does have a polymer grip on a steel frame. So it is kind of interesting. So it's a little bit of best of both worlds kind of deal in regards to that. It does have a pick rail on the bottom, so for accessory or an accessory rail. But it looks pretty awesome. It's going to kind of compete with your Staccatos, which is your John Wick guns, and some of those other manufacturers that are making 2011s. This is still considered a 1911. They call it the 1911 DS Prodigy, and the DS, I'm assuming, stands for double stack. But awesome looking little gun. So for sure. Yep. Can't wait to actually put one in my hands.
What is a bull barrel?
Aha. Keeping me on my toes. So a bull barrel is a thicker barrel, and what that does, gives better accuracy and more cooling to the projectiles. So ultimately, once your barrel heats up, you can lose accuracy. So with that more meat or more material, it doesn't get as hot as quick. So also adds weight, and weight is a good thing for recoil management. So
this is not a carry gun.
it's not a carry gun.
I mean, not a typical carry gun, I should say.
It's not. It is a little bit on the big side. Again, it's a 1911.
Yep.
So it's 5-inch or 4 1/4 inch. Even the 4 1/4 inch is still large. It is a double stack gun, so depending on where you live, you may or may not be able to get away with that. You may not have to conceal carry. You may be able to open carry. If you're able to open carry, that makes it that much easier. Like I said, it is optics ready, so there are inside of the two variants. You can also get it with a red dot already on it or not. So 2 different ways of getting it. So basically 4 different variants of the gun.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, can't wait to get one in my hands.
And then you mentioned polymer and
Yes.
metal. So polymer is?
Plastic, it's hard plastic. So it's got polymer grip, so ultimately, and which allows a little bit of flex, and then a steel frame. So
Awesome.
which again is good for weight, recoil management. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
Awesome. And do we have a projected price on this, MSRP?
yeah, if we scroll down a little bit further, I think it's going to be in the $1,500-$1,600 range. Again,
Okay.
depending on
That's
no,
Dragonfly.
There you go, right there.
That's Dragonfly.
Nope, not all of them.
Oh, just kidding.
Yep. So it's gonna vary.
So between 14 and 1600.
Yeah, depending on whether or not you have the red dot on it or not, and then barrel length size.
Ooh,
I
those
think.
guns are getting pricey.
Yeah, they are. Well, again, but it's a high-end gun.
I know it's a
It-
high-end gun. I know.
It's not an inexpensive gun. But
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
But just in the world today, we're kind of like, how much is that? Like
Right.
what? You know,
I
we
know.
talked about it last week with inflation and everything's just getting so expensive. But
Yep.
to think about, 10 years ago, paying $1,600 for a gun,
You're like, what? Are you nuts?
but you pay $1,000 for a cell phone now, right?
Right. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for that new shit with Shad. So we'll keep in touch with you as far as letting you know when we have one in the shop.
Yep.
Definitely follow us on social media because Mike, our social media guy, he posts new stuff that we get, new shit with Shad, and new stuff with Mad Dog Armory that we get that is available. So once we have one in our hands in the shop, we will definitely post that on social media and let you know that they are available and
Yeah.
in stock. So we're going to go ahead and with a couple of minutes left, we'll go ahead and choose the winner
boy.
of this amazing AR-15. What is this gun here? Tell me about it.
Springfield Armory Saint ATAC. So it is a precision shooting AR-15.
Okay.
So
It takes
yeah,
5.56.
it's 5.56,
Okay.
223. So either
Okay.
one does come with a mag, comes with a soft case.
It's a very nice
Oh, yeah.
soft case too.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
zippered case, a really nice case that it comes in.
And it does come with the Magpul bipod.
Magpul bipod is very nice. Yes.
We
Flat
didn't-
trigger.
We didn't put an optic on it just because that can be very personal depending on how you want to use it. So ultimately, if you want to do some long range shooting, which it is a precision gun, you might want to do something a little bit different than, maybe just a red dot.
Yeah, your
So,
intended use.
yep.
So, all right. So we're gonna pick our winner.
Yep.
What?
Pick a winner.
Pick me a winner. I knew
Pick a
you were
winner.
gonna do that.
All
Da, 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 da. All right, here we go. Here's the winner.
Winner, chicken dinner. And who is it?
I don't know. I don't have
Oh,
my
my
glasses
glasses.
on. All right, here.
Antonio Bethia.
Antonio, you are the lucky winner. Antonio Bethia. Bethia. All right, Antonio, hopefully you're watching and you're celebrating right now because
Congrats, brother.
you have won this amazing rifle.
Springfield Armory Saint ATAC.
Super nice.
Yes.
Thank you for playing along, and we'll find out more information and get in touch with you after the show.
Yep.
So likely tonight or tomorrow morning, we will definitely get in touch with you.
We'll reach out to you tomorrow morning if you haven't reached out to us.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So we have your information here. So again, like, subscribe. Anthony's going to come in and he's going to do, Antonio is going to come in and do his background check and leave the shop with his new AR-15.
Hopefully he has a concealed weapons license so he can leave with it the same day.
If not, we can help you with that.
Yeah.
But we will take a photo and we'll post it on our social so you can see Antonio and his new rifle that he won with us.
Absolutely.
So get in on your chance to win your own. Stop into one of the shops and get your ticket, and you could be a winner just like Antonio. Awesome. All right, so thank you again for joining us on Tactical Talk with Mad Dog Armory. I am Jillian Biltz and Shad Biltz signing off and hoping you have a wonderful weekend, and we will
right.
see you next Friday at 6 p.m., same time, same channel.
Be safe.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.